Allison Spann was just 9 years old when she learned that her father, a U.S. Marine turned CIA officer, was the first American killed in the war in Afghanistan. Well, fast forward 13 years, the terrorist likely behind that attack, the attack that killed her dad, is a free man, released by the Obama administration in the Bergdahl prisoner exchange. Allison Spann joins us now to talk about her reaction. Allison, thanks a lot for coming on this morning. Were you notified by the administration that this man, Mohammed Fazal, likely responsible for the death of your father, was going to be traded for Bowe Bergdahl? Did they tell you?
No, the administration never said anything to my family or I. We actually figured that out on our own.
Wow. What was your response?
At first, I was extremely saddened and really disappointed that our government would do something like that. It was sort of unbelievable because for my family and I, that's like releasing a murderer, because he was alleged to be present in that prison that day, and for all we know, he could have pulled the trigger.
Yes.
So at first, that was my response, and I think my stepmother said it best when she said it was just completely demoralizing for our government to do this.
Yes.
But then I became scared. It's scary to think that just 13 years after September 11, 2001, we're now releasing prisoners who at the very least sympathized with the our other enemies who orchestrated the events of 9/11.
Yes, and Fazal apparently was the commander, the lead officer in charge of the Taliban prisoners being held at that Northern Alliance compound in November of 2001, where your father was killed, becoming the first casualty. I remember that so well. Your father was an enormously brave man. What was he like? What do you remember about him?
I always remember my dad by one phrase that he told me over and over again, and it's always stuck with me. He always told me to never, never, never give up, and he was just that kind of guy. He never gave up. He was such a determined person, and he was really devout in what he believed, and he always went after. He knew what he believed, and he went after it, and he was willing to fight for it, and he was willing to put his life on the line for it, and eventually that's what happened. And he was a great guy. He was a hero to me, and my stepmother once said that he was a hero not because of the way he died, but because of the way he lived, and I truly believe that.
Yes, well, he was a heroic man, absolutely. What message do you think this sends to your family, that this character who might have likely been behind the death of your dad was released?
To my family, it's almost a slap in the face. You know, my father went over there and he lost his life, and this man was pretty instrumental in that happening. So, you know, the message that sends to my family is that the administration doesn't care about the sacrifices that Americans have made.
Allison Spann joining us from California this morning. Thanks a lot for getting up early and coming on. It was really, really nice to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.